Greetings, my friends. Greetings and welcome. Welcome back. Dr. Disrespect has returned. Finally, the silence is broken. This is his Twitter post. And we're also going to be taking a look at an interview, as well as his Twitter page and his YouTube page. Let's take a look at this and jump into the interview. God, I love that production quality. Alright, so that was the post from today. On his Twitter account here, we can see that he has changed his link here to YouTube, which I have pulled up here. And what was interesting to me is that Doc has his Twitter link still on YouTube, so he hasn't been very active, which in my opinion is a smart move. Now, let's take a look at this interview from PC Gamer. I'm going to read through it. I'm going to give some thoughts. I'll tell you then here, but let's get into it. So Dr. Disrespect talks about his Twitch ban, the rumors, and his future. After weeks of silence, it's been about 3 weeks, Guy Beam, which is his real name, Dr. Disrespect, discusses about his Twitch ban and what's next. Okay. Alright, so here we go. It's been almost 3 weeks since you were banned from Twitch. I imagine that it's been very frustrating. I would love to start with just hearing what's been happening behind the scenes with you. What's been going on these past 3 weeks? And Dr. Disrespect says, sure, I mean, well, a lot of stuff, obviously. You know, it's unfortunate that I'm off Twitch. We're definitely working behind the scenes on what a doctor return might look like. In terms of the specifics around that, we're not interested in an exclusive at this point. We're exploring our options and honestly just can't wait to get back into character soon. We have a lot to do, and I'll be wherever fans want me to be. And you know, that's been our approach. Alright? When you say you're not interested in an exclusive, can you clarify that? And Doc says, well, let's just say all the cards are on the table. I'm more focused on just making sure whatever we do next, whether it's a platform move or not, that it's the right decision for the community and the Champions Club that follows me. And that makes sense to what I want to continue to accomplish with this character in terms of taking things to the next level. And whether it's streaming or outside of streaming, it's just being conscientious of that decision. In a follow-up email, Beam clarified that he's even considering streaming independently on his Champions Club GG website, in addition to other big options like YouTube and Facebook. Now, I personally think there's more on this later, but so his character, it makes sense for him to go to either YouTube or Facebook gaming. We'll get into the whole Twitch thing too. They made a lot of really weird decisions lately, but I think that Doc is trying to step more into the mainstream, you know, kind of like a movie deal or some sort of TV thing, or you know, something more along those lines, to where he's not always locked into streaming video games per se, beyond just chatting and all these different things, you know, just doing something bigger and better. You know, I'm thinking he's leaning more towards a movie type of a thing, but let's continue with the interview here. So, given that connection that you have with your audience and how important that is, I'm sure you can appreciate that there's been a lot of concern and worry over the past few weeks. Why didn't you give an update just to say hi, even if you had nothing really concrete to say? And Doc says, well, to be honest, okay, so we got the news, you know, it was a total shock. Imagine just going to work one day and the door is closed and you can't get inside, and you've been told that you were fired and you weren't given a reason why, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fucked, man. And so for me, it was just an initial shock. The way I discovered it, too, was on a buddy stream, and some of the features had started turning off. Turning off while I was just in the chat and everything. And then all of a sudden, social media was blowing up. I got the call with my team, and after one quick email, it was over. At that particular moment, it was more... Okay, let's see here. Okay, I just want to scroll up so you guys can see in case anyone wants to read along. It was more of just kind of shocked, and then what happened, you know. Anyway, he's just... And both my wife and I are just like, what's going on? So that kind of how initially how things kind of went down. And then from there, you're just sort of digesting it. You're still not getting any answers. So that's kind of why I wouldn't have known what to say, you know. We put out the one tweet, our statement, and it's kind of where things are at. Okay, so they say, I understand that you have a lot of business arrangements to consider too, like the TV show that you're working on with Skybound. I can imagine it's scary to be in this position where your main platform has sort of been yanked out underneath you. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of stuff that's in terms of the thinking, like, yeah, that's all going through your mind. For me, it was pretty tough to I had to get off social media. I mean, just to see all the speculations and theories, things that my name has been surrounded with. And it was just really heartbreaking to see to a certain extent, because we've worked so hard to get to this point. You know, we're ready to go. We're excited to take the next steps. And I'm really focused on the community for now. We've got lots of stuff planned, lots of projects that are in the works. And yeah, continue on, baby. And Twitch has just cut off contact with you. They've never provided you a reason for the ban. And he just says, yeah. That seems crazy to me, to ban one of its most famous, most popular streamers, and then to not even tell them what they did wrong. And he says, yeah, that's the kind of mind-blowing thing about all of this. Obviously, for legal counsel, I have to be careful here, but I can say, however, that I will not be returning to Twitch, so, I mean, that's it. And this is his tweet previously, where he says, Champions Club, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all for the support during this difficult time. Dr. DisRespect. And they say, sure, I'm not a famous streamer, but if I was a famous streamer and I got banned for no reason, especially considering the Dr. DisRespect character and who he is, I think my response would be to get out on social media and shout from the rooftops and be like, hey, this is really unfair. I'm curious why you haven't done that. And he says, well, I mean, I'm trying to take the best and appropriate steps possible, and there are things behind the scenes in terms from a legal standpoint that, you know, I can't. That's where it's at. And so I don't want to go on social media and say the wrong thing or the right thing, whatever it is. And like we made our statement, and that's, you know, that's where things are now. As we build this game plan to make this doc come back, that's still kind of in the works in terms of what the vision looks like. I'm working with my creative team, the graphics, going and taking the whole doc 3.0 experience to the next level. That's where my focus is now. So are you able to confirm that legal action is taking place? Are you are taking legal action against Twitch? Man, this interviewer is really grilling him for answers. And Doc says, we are considering taking legal action, which that would be extremely interesting for me to see. Twitch, they haven't had a good reputation lately. I mean, they had a really bad falling out with Ninja, the whole Dear Girl controversy with the council and everything. And just in general, like, they seem very, like, I don't know, like, just cutting ties with people, and it's very, like, kind of immature, I feel like. And it would be extremely interesting if Doc did pursue legal action to see what something like this would look like, because he was their biggest streamer on the platform. Anyway, So he says, when do you think you might, if ever, have a definitive answer as to the reason why you were banned? And he says, honestly, we just don't know. It's smart of him not to say anything yet. It's not the right time. I feel like there's a legal thing in place and he can't say anything until some more time passes. Dr. Disrespect is a very controversial character, and I don't need to tell you that. It's almost baked into who he is as a person. Do you think that Twitch singled you out because it felt like you were just too controversial for its platform? Honestly, I don't know. You know, I've been very transparent with those around me in my community over the past few years. I'm not a perfect person. I've made some mistakes, but if anybody knows me, follows me, I've stepped up and I've taken full responsibility each and every time. And behind the scenes, behind the curtains, a lot of people don't understand how much work I've put into becoming a better person for myself and my family, as well as the business. I'm committed to investing in, being, and continuing to be a better person, and investing in creative projects around the dock. My focus now is just continuing the momentum and returning to my chair, hanging out with the Champions Club, and launching a couple fun, creative experiences. And yeah, that's where we're at. You know, that's true. Like, I feel like obviously, okay, he had the whole like streaming from the bathrooms thing 2017, whenever it was. He cheated on his wife. I mean, it's up to his wife, you know? Like, if she's moved past it, then so should the internet. Like, it's a personal thing, and that's something they have to figure out behind the scenes. But I feel like just like if a person has made a mistake, you know, years ago, and has learned from it, has made every attempt to become better, to move forward, and not repeat it again, and, you know, mature and grow from this, I don't think making a mistake should be held over you forever. You know, like, just because you made a bad move or had a lapse of judgment, your life shouldn't be ruined over this. Let's continue the interview. Sure, and I want to talk about that. But first, you did recently ruffle a few feathers after sharing a video during a stream of Dr. Thomas Cowan, and he was talking about some coronavirus theories. You've been open recently and sharing some of your own thoughts about coronavirus and even relating it to things like 5G networks. Even on your last stream, you were talking about David Icke and his documentary. I'm curious, bringing up those thoughts, and I think that it's okay to call them controversial. Did that ever result? Let's see. Where are we at? Did that ever result in Twitch saying anything to you or warning you? And he just says no. So you don't think that may be the cause? He says, I don't think so. In fact, And then his publicist jumps in. We're getting really close to a dangerous territory here. So you know, Doc, we don't know why Twitch banned him. There's no formal warnings or reprimand on record. That's all legal is going to let him say. Okay. Yeah, like there's some stuff going on behind the scenes, and I feel like even the people who are saying like, oh, I know what happened but I can't say, it's because they don't really know. And if they do just say some stuff like the slasher, you know, he's a smart guy, and it would be like there could be legal ramifications against him too if you just like defame somebody basically, or like slander, you know. So it's just a legal thing, and it would be really disappointing if the actual reason was like something silly that we're just like, oh, okay, it's not some big conspiracy theory, it's not like some, you know, it's just like something stupid. Like, anyway. Okay, so he says, okay, Okay, I just have one question that's semi-related because there's also this current climate online of people coming forward to share stories of sexual harassment and abuse in the games industry. Twitch recently has banned several streamers who have been outed as sexual harassers, abusers, and otherwise toxic individuals. To your knowledge, is your Twitch ban the result of someone alleging that you harassed, abused, or assaulted them in any way? And he says, listen, I'm not interested in engaging crazy speculation. I've seen all the theories, I've seen all the possible conspiracies, and it's just like I'm not interested in engaging that type of stuff. I have a great community of loyal fans, and I'm totally focused on getting back and delivering great, entertaining content. That's where the focus is. Okay, and this is actually his big announcement from earlier. Let's take a look at this because I want to make a point here. Let's check this out.
We should be dropping you in a minute 15, sir. Coming into the LZ.
A minute 13. Is that what you meant?
I mean, sure.
You act like I've never felt the descent of a military stealth spacecraft before.
I didn't mean to disrespect
Do you
sir.
think I'm a small baby?
What?
You're a small baby.
You got the heart of a powerful warrior, young man.
I agree.
Where'd you serve?
Serve? Listen, old man. I play video games. What are we giggling about, gentlemen? I just don't play games to play games. I dominate. Years ago, I started my hotshot gaming career in a small room with an old 1800s antique desk my mom gave me and a $300 Hewlett-Packard computer. Everyone has a dream, a purpose in life. I'm at the tippity top of the mountain, but I'm only halfway up. I'm in peak condition, and I'm not even in shape. You'll realize someday that every man must decide. Hit that start streaming button. You know the biggest difference between me and you, boys? Is that I can fly without a spacesuit.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Like the production quality of this is incredible. And recently on the H3 podcast, they'd likened this to like a Super Bowl advertisement. You know, I mean, this is like top-notch quality. This is something you would see at a like trailers before you go see a big film. You know, it's incredible. So just for that amount of backlash and for that amount of like secrecy and silence and you know, like I don't know, it's wild and people are still speculating. You could argue that even this whole interview is just like it's sort of like a publicity stunt that they did for views, like to generate more buzz, to have even more mystery, because we're going on about a month now without any answer as to why he is banned. Let's continue. Sure, I didn't spill my drink here. Okay, let's switch gears here a little bit then. Let's talk about this reboot. What can you tell me about what you're looking to do right now? It says, "Ah, man, you're going to have to tune in to find out. That's part of the fun. I think that's one of Doc's things, is doing these cool projects and the big surprise elements that are involved. Whether it's directly through the stream or a combination of social media and the stream, but fans should expect Doc 3.0. We're launching new cinematics focused on pushing the envelope, just like I've tried to since I've started streaming, and that's the focus." Which, that's very interesting to me, you know, like, yeah, he's an incredible entertainer, and like the character is bigger than just like streaming, you know, whatever, Call of Duty or whatever, Warzone. It makes sense for him to push the envelope, as he says. I can see why it would be exciting, especially for your fans, because there have been these controversies that you've gone through. They've always seemed to lead to a big evolution of who Dr. Disrespect is. You keep saying 3.0. Is this going to feel like a new and reimagined Dr. Disrespect? I don't want to go into the details of what that means, but when you start to look at potential projects outside of the streaming space and then you combine those with the character in the streaming space, I think you're going to see his universe open up a lot bigger. And that's what I'm getting at with this, is that he's going beyond this whole thing, and he has a following, he's established, he can go anywhere and do anything. I mean, he's a highly successful guy. So it almost sounds like a Marvel Cinematic Universe type thing that you're planning. Yeah, that'd be the goal, that'd be great, he says. Well, it always felt very avant-garde that you had created this idea of playing essentially a WWE villain on a streaming platform. It felt very novel. I can imagine it's exciting to see that idea take shape and grow bigger. Yeah, man, that's the thing. That's incredible. Yeah, it's been really exciting. I'm surrounded by great people on a great team, and we've been really working hard to try to get it to this point, you know, over the past couple years. And yeah, I'm just really excited for the future. Definitely. There was one thing I wanted to talk about to set the record straight, and that is the final moments of your last stream on Twitch. People really latched on and analyzed those few minutes of you signing off because it seemed very out of character. You're watching these clips and then all of a sudden your tone changes. Are you able to tell me what happened there? Because again, I've seen all the types of theories and speculations out there, and it's gut-wrenching and disheartening, but in terms of that particular piece, I could speak directly to, like, that was just, I was in a moment where I was just sort of taking in what's going on in the world, you know? If people had context of that clip going into it and then coming out of it, like, all I was talking about was just the state of the world we're dealing with the protesters and the coronavirus and everything that was happening. Is just like, man. And that particular moment, I think I was just kind of going through a, you know, like, when can we break out of this funk of 2020? It was just me being real on stream, and that's pretty much the context of that. Is that pretty normal for you to break character like that during your streams? He says, yeah, I would say so. Whether it's a personal story with, like, it could be related to my daughter or sports or growing up, I sometimes will step out of the fictional world of the doctor just so I could tell more of a human-sided story or a personal story. Then I'll be right back into the character. Every once in a while I'll do that. Now here's a video of his final moments on Twitch. I won't be playing that here in this video. I think if you're somehow here and you haven't seen it, well, I'll link my first video to this down below, but this is something, I assume if you're watching this video and you're at this point in the video, you already know about this, so I'm gonna move on. Everyone was watching the clip being like, this is the moment he is found out, but you're saying it was completely unrelated, and I'm sure you can appreciate how suspicious that looked in hindsight, having this final clip of your final moment on Twitch captured like that. Yeah, it's interesting timing for sure. You said earlier that you're not interested in an exclusive deal, but there is a specific platform you're looking to migrate to near term. Oh no, we're just focused on the doc's return. We haven't made any decisions on platforms. We're not interested in looking for an exclusive or any of that stuff. All the cards are on the table. And again, it's just making sure the decision that we make and the route that we take is the correct route for the community to follow in. And I think that's most important, is the Champions Club. They want to see the doc back, and I want to get back, and yeah, we've definitely got some decisions to make. It's interesting because your streaming career has had a lot of ups and downs, maybe more so than any other big streamer I can think of. Part of that feels very on brand for Dr. Disrespect as a character to get himself into these tough situations and persevere, but how does that all affect you personally? Because they definitely affect me. They certainly affect me on a personal level. I've been challenged with anxiety for the past. I mean, high levels of anxiety I've never experienced in my life. The past couple of weeks simply because it's like, what the heck is going on, you know, like what happened. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course they affect me. Part of the thing about being someone in my position is just kind of knowing that and knowing how to deal with them in a real authentic way, and making myself become knowledgeable of why I made the mistake and then bettering myself from that. And that's exactly what I've done with each sort of instance that has occurred. Not just as doctor, but my whole life, you know? And I think he's being truthful here. I definitely think he's being truthful. You were talking about how hurtful it has been seeing social media speculation and stuff like that. That must be a challenge because you are a public figure and you have a connection with an audience online, millions of people, and that's necessary to make Dr. Disrespect successful. But at the same time, you're now in a position where that obligation to be online, seeing people say those things, is really harmful. How do you compartmentalize that part of your life? Well, it's an easy answer to that. I walk right away from the studio, right into my house, and I look at my family, my wife and my daughter, and the people that I'm surrounded with, the team that I'm surrounded with. And in terms of that part, we're in such a good position. We're in such a good state of life. And I feel so good about that. And to me, that's what's most important. Yeah. So once you step out of the streaming studio, you just sort of flip a switch and suddenly that doesn't matter to you much anymore. To a certain degree, I think that it's different instances because, you know, you're talking about career here and you're talking about financials, you're talking about vision projects that are put on temporary hold until we figure things out behind the scenes, and you're talking potential legal action, and it's just like, okay, you know. One facet of the story is that, I'm sure you're aware of this, there are people coming forward saying that they know the reason you're banned. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. For example, Rod Slasher was on a stream that just yesterday saying he knows why you're banned, but he doesn't want to say because he fears it could make him a target of a defamation lawsuit. What do you make of that? Yeah. Listen, again, I'm not interested in engaging in any sort of stuff or that crazy speculation. I'll say it again. I have a great community of loyal fans, and I'm totally focused on just getting back to the Champions Club and delivering great, entertaining content. Yeah, you know, like, he wants to move past it. Like, you don't get caught up on the controversy. You don't get caught up on the negativity. You just move on. You keep going forward. You keep going forward. That's what Doc's trying to do. Okay, but have you... And this guy just keeps grilling him for answers. And Doc's not gonna give. Okay, but have you made any attempt to understand what he's talking about? Like, if someone had dirt on me, even if I knew it was total bullshit, I would at least want to know what they thought that they knew. Have you tried to contact him or any of his affiliated parties? He just says no. Okay, and that's the end of the interview. So that's it. That's it. I think that Dr. Disrespect is going to be successful wherever he goes. First of all, I think, like, Facebook, I don't mess with Facebook that much, but it's an up and coming, like, not one, obviously not up and coming, but it's an established platform that's trying to step in gaming. There's a lot of people on it. I mean, hey, I don't know, you know, it could be a thing. YouTube, already established platform, the biggest platform, bigger than Twitch, way bigger than Twitch as far as like sheer volume of people. Yeah, and Twitch hasn't had a good reputation lately. I mean, look at Ninja. He didn't like hype it up and plan it for a while and whatever. He streamed on YouTube the other day to like 167,000 viewers. Fuck yeah, man. Dr. Disrespect, he's established. He's a multi-millionaire. He can go anywhere he wants to. He's trying to do other things. Like, he's fine. He'll come through strong. And not only that, but this whole controversy, like this mystery, it's really adding to his character. And I really feel like he'll come on top. Now, as far as like legal action against Twitch, should he do it? I mean, if things happen the way they say it happened, yes. I feel like yes. We still won't know. And I feel like it would be disappointing if the reason is just like something silly, you know? Only time will tell. We still have to wait. You could argue that this is just another publicity stunt because there's still not any really like real answers. but we'll have to see what he does and how the community responds. So thank you so much. This is something that was extremely interesting to me. I'm following this story with great interest. I hope I covered it well. Please let me know, or if you have any questions, I'll have links to all the original stuff down below. And please follow me on Twitch, where I regularly stream horror and RPGs. I'm also going to start experimenting with streaming on YouTube as well. And yeah, so Final Fantasy is my bread and butter, but I'm kind of branching out, exploring different things right now. News from that are kind of dry, so I'm just going to be doing videos mostly centered on gaming, but just other things that are interesting to me. So thank you so much for sticking around, and I really appreciate it if you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Take care.